a sun, the fields are alive. Cheering crowds and the teams collide. In these moments, we stand tall and free. First pride runs deep in me. With every touchdown, we rise and we cheer. Unity and spirit, the heart will hear. Raising voices, let's make it loud. In Florida's high schools, we're so damn proud. From the bleachers to the end zone to go, football and cheers make our spirits grow. Girls in the game, they're fierce and bright. Flag in hand, they give it their might. From every town they bring their dreams. On this field of gold, nothing's as it seems. Together we shine, together we play. In Florida's heart, we own this day. Raise your voices, let's make it loud. In Florida's high schools, we're so damn proud. From the bleachers to the end zones go, football and cheers make our spirits grow. So here's to the game, we'll rise and stand. In Florida's field, real night band.
All right, it is the time for the North Central Florida edition of the Blitz here as Chris comes with one of his props there for us. It is Happy World Wayne for this week. Oh, I didn't even know that. Wow. All right.
Learn something new every day.
Yeah, we do. I'm Josh Rosen. That's Christopher Like here, and we welcome you here on to this new edition of the North Central Florida edition of the Blitz. Coming up, we'll have our interview with head coach Jamie Rodgers, the head coach of the Bradford Tornadoes, who are now 7-1 on the season, and they are one step closer to a district championship coming up, and I believe that it will come next week in week number 10 for the Tornadoes here, but we'll have that for the interview tonight here, and looking forward to having Coach on and with everything, and I already communicated with him, and he's looking forward to it as well. So we're glad to have him on, as well as the Tornadoes look to take back the district that they lost last year to Newberry, who they actually beat this time around 28-7, which we'll go into that here in just a moment here as we get set for the Blitz Lines here. And Dunellen kind of gets back on track here. Last week, they beat North Marion 28-6. No issues there for the Tigers, but I got to say this for Dunellen. They're right now on the outside looking in the playoffs here, and they're going to kind of need to really kind of win out here. And I believe they do have South Sumter coming up here, so they're going to have next week. So they're going to have to find a way to win that kind of game there. Otherwise, this may not be a playoff year for the Dunellen Tigers.
Yeah, they're sitting right on the cusp of that at-large bid right now, and they got a real battle, especially with other teams in the region like Tavares and Titusville and Crystal River wanting to pounce on that last spot.
Yeah, I think you mentioned Hernando as well. I was looking through the playoff roadmaps earlier. So there's quite a few teams that are there in the mix. It's just there's a lot there. By the way, I see Emery Smith there. Winston says he was finally on time to catch a full one. And Emery Smith thought, yeah, I know. I miss Mark Cannon in the chat because he's on that Greyhound bus right now. Apparently they got the tire issue fixed. So I'm glad that they were able to get back on the road. But I know that stretch of turnpike that they are on, it's like part of that longest stretch. It's like 90. You go down the turnpike, it's like over 90 miles before, and there's only one exit, Dehaw Junction exit.
Yeah.
So, and but we do miss Mark here being in the chat because Mark can bring some quite a few good comments, colorful comments.
Oh yeah,
not over the top colorful comments. I should say that. So,
right.
but anyways, Buchholz 42-7 over Tecoy Creek. The Bobcats are just rolling here. They haven't clinched District 6A3 just yet.
Right.
The thing is they got to play Bartram Trail next week. Buchholz on the bye week this week, so they're going to get some rest, but they're going to deal with Bartram Trail. Bartram Trail still has a hand in deciding what is it going to say for that district there. So we will see what's going to happen here, and as we see Coach already getting ready to be set up, so that is good here. So we will definitely have Coach on here in a moment. So he is on time and ready, and we've got him, and I can hear the audio, so we are good there to go. But looking at that, Buchholz rolling there. As I mentioned in the last show, this one, Old Plank and Ocala. Old Plank beats Ocala 22-20, and that was a huge win there. And we had talked to Old Plank's head coach last week on the Northeast Florida edition of the Blitz.
Yeah, Old Plank really coming on at the right time, and we'll see what they can do in the playoffs this year.
No, absolutely here as we roll along here. And Newberry and Bradford, that was a game. We'll be talking to head coach Jamie Rodgers from the Bradford Tornadoes here coming up here in just a moment. But Bradford 28-7 over Newberry, extract the revenge. They lost to Newberry not once but twice last year, once in the regular season and once in the playoffs. And but the Tornadoes flex their muscle and they get the win. They're one step closer to a district championship here, but they've got to play Santa Fe. Santa Fe has seen improvements there, but they have to play Santa Fe because again, some things still undecided in the district there as well. This one kind of really on this next one. This one kind of really got me here, Chris, and that was the Bradford and Trenton game. This one, yeah. Yeah, we just literally put our picks into the trash can there on that one because we had Trenton and we all took Trenton in this one, and I think Trenton was actually maybe Trenton was the favorite or it was a slight, but Bradford 30-13, just total domination, and that game right there put Bradford into the top 10 in the Florida Power Rankings Index this week in Class Rural. So that's if that tells you anything, how games can impact in our rankings and for our computer rankings, it can go up and down. But our computer rankings, I will say this, Chris, it's not just about the margin of victory, it's also the strength of schedule. There's a lot of factors in that, and I feel like we're much closer than what the FHA Max rankings are even showing. So let's just say that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yes. Indeed, Emory, they are the number. They're sitting there at the number 2 seed. They were number 1 last week. It kind of flip flopped. The Villages up to the 1 seed in that region in Class 2A, Region 2. So there's going to be some fluctuations going on in that region, I think. Of course, we talked about it last night. The Villages has their big game this week at Cocoa. So there's a lot to be seen there in terms of what's going to happen here this coming week in terms of the games here. And then this one, a team that Bradford has already played this year, beat them 14-12 earlier in the season, and that was the South Sumter Eastside game. And boy, and that one, it required a little extra free football there in terms of getting the job done, but. Eastside comes out a winner 27-21 over South Sumter, and Eastside takes their district there. So they're in 3A District 5. So South Sumter, a district champ. Not South Sumter, Eastside is a district champ, and they are off to the playoffs. Yeah,
Eastside coming on at the right time, and they beat a really good South Sumter team, and that one actually surprised me.
No, and besides, I should also mention that Bradford has wins over South Sumter and Eastside this year. So those are two common opponents, those that Bradford's had this year. And but Eastside district champs, and South Sumter now has to fight here in terms of getting playoff positioning in terms of an at-large bid now.
Yeah, they're right in the mix of the at-large bids, and I think they should get that at-large, but. Like I said, if like we say, you still got to play out the schedule and survive. So that's on them now to win those last few games.
No, absolutely. Here as we roll into it here, and we'll talk about it more here in a moment. But it was coming up here in the pick six, that one game that where we will zero in on is at Zephyr Hill South Sumter game. So we will talk about that coming up here. All right. Well, when we come back, we're going to have head coach Jamie Rodgers from the Bradford Tornadoes join us here for the interview here on the North Central Florida edition of the Blitz. We'll be right back right after this here on the North Central Florida edition of the Blitz.
I've been thinking about this for a long time. I thought, if that's out there, I want to make sure I see it and I get involved in it, because to me, this was music to my ears. I was blown away. When you look at today's kid, the millennium kid, they learn by being able to see it. If I can see it, it's a great chance that I can do it. The First Down Playbook is a tool that can essentially change the way we teach the game.
Box Out gives you the ability to create graphics at the speed of sports to highlight your athletic department, teams, and student athletes in seconds. Used and trusted by Notre Dame, Ohio State, UConn, Marquette, Georgetown, and many more of the top college brands in the country. If you want your school's brand to stand out through all the clutter, start your free demo at boxoutsports.com.
High school sports fans, follow your team live with a free ScoreStream mobile app. Download ScoreStream to get real-time scores, photos, and awesome video. Plus, follow your favorite teams and friends. Get real-time high school sports from ScoreStream.
Get ready for the 2026 Coach of the Year Clinics. This February and March, see top collegiate coaches, learn from the best, and take your program to the next level. Don't miss America's most respected coaching clinics.
All right, and welcome back here to the North Central Florida edition of the Blitz here on FloorHSFootball.com and the FloorHSFootball.com social media handles. And joining us now for the interview is the head coach of the 7-1 Bradford Tornadoes. That is head coach Jamie Rodgers there on the other side there. And coach, appreciate you taking a few minutes out of your schedule there to join us here. And boy, your Tornadoes right back on track, and one district game away from the district championship once more. And boy, first of all, for y'all to get that, because y'all lost to Newberry not once but twice last year, yep. Once in the regular season, once in the playoffs. How did it feel for y'all to be able to get that win back to be able to get the win Friday night?
Well, of course, you know, when a team pretty much manhandles you twice, you can't wait to get back on the field against them. And they're a good team, they're a well coached team, and for us to get a victory, we're very fortunate. But I really wanted to appreciate you guys, Josh, for having us on and letting us talk about tornado football with you. Thank you very much for that.
No, you're welcome. And as we saw, we saw your guys at Media Day back in July, into July, and they were fired up for the season. And sure enough, you got some guys that are rolling here, and y'all are rolling with a sophomore quarterback, Cy Cubbage, this year. I mean, he's already putting up some numbers there for y'all. I mean, I know y'all kind of try to keep it balanced a little bit in offense, but over 1,100 yards passing in the 8 games played so far, and 17 touchdowns against 5 interceptions. What makes Cy special? Because just a sophomore, you get 2 more years out of him going forward.
Yeah, well, he comes from a very athletic family right here in Bradford. So, but what makes him special is he's got elite arm talent for a 10th grader. He can make every throw on the field. We ask him to make a lot, but you just mentioned we try to be balanced. I think we're somewhere around 1,100 yards on both rushing and passing, somewhere around there. And when you can do both well, I feel like it's hard to stop. But having Cy back there, he can make all the throws. He made 3 touchdown throws this past week against Newberry that not very many high school guys can make. They were in the perfect spot. And I mean, a couple of them were in some driving rain. We had a lot of the 15-mile-an-hour wind rain, but he's just gotten better and better and better. We knew we were going to take a few lumps with when you got a guy that's that young. But like with his arm talent, he tries to throw it in some spots where maybe he shouldn't sometimes, but that's all getting behind him now. And he's throwing it to the open guys, and that's a lot of fun to watch.
No, absolutely.
You guys are not afraid to play some competition, especially going up against Mandarin a few weeks ago and only lost that game 14-7. What did you learn about your team on that matchup to get on the roll that you guys have been on lately?
Yeah, well, those guys are super talented. They're built for the long haul. They're big and fast on defense, and obviously they got the super player right out wide. And we decided not to cover him one time and let him go on an 80-yard touchdown reception uncovered, and then he returned a punt about 80 yards against us. So that was the 2 touchdowns. So one thing we learned, if we get an opportunity at a team with an elite player, we're probably going to try to keep it away from him next time as much as possible. Good coaches don't let the best players on the other side beat them, and we did that night. But Mandarin's a very talented team. They have a talented offense and defense, multiple offered players, future college players on both sides, and that let us know going on the road in that game. I think that was our third consecutive road game, tough one at Dunellen, at South Sumter, then at Mandarin. And the third one is always the hardest to win in a 3-game away stretch like that. And it just happened to be the toughest opponent that we probably had all year. And, they were able to get us, and hats off to them. They did a good job. But I learned a lot about our guys that night.
No, absolutely. Y'all did learn a lot right there. And as you mentioned, that 3-game road stretch, that was a 35-0 win over at Dunellen, 14-12 against South Sumter, a really good South Sumter team. And Ty Lawrence is a heck of a ball coach down there at South Sumter. And looking at some of the other guys on the defensive side of things here, I mean, the defense here, y'all recorded 17 sacks so far in 8 games. But do you feel like for y'all, do y'all feel like y'all could probably have had a higher number of interceptions? Because I know you only have like 4 recorded interceptions on the stat sheet that I'm looking at here. But do you feel like that number could be higher depending on, or is it just the teams that y'all are going up against?
Yeah, it's we've dropped a couple. We've had a couple that we could have made, but we haven't had a ton of opportunities. We've had a lot of pass breakups, like very close contested passes. But yeah, we definitely want to we preach turnovers and the ball, and that's the most important thing in the game. And we haven't had quite as many as we wanted to this year. Hopefully they're still coming. I feel like in years past, except maybe the state championship game run, we kind of peaked a little early, week 7, week 8. This year, I feel like there's a chance that we're going to peak at the right time. We're kind of plateauing a little bit, getting a little bit better every week. But I feel like we're getting to a spot where we're going to peak at the right time this year.
By the way, you got a little bit of a fan club. Head coach Matt DeBuck down there, Cardinal Gibbons. He said he remembers meeting you about 12 years ago at the FSU camp. He's like he's requested a game with you.
Like, you talk about a great football coach and what he's been able to do down there. You know what? Hey, we got a new cycle coming up. That's a possibility next year.
No, absolutely. We would love to see that. That'd be a really good matchup right there between Bradford and Cardinal Gibbons. That would be a heck of a matchup.
Tell him we're losing like 20 seniors. Maybe it might be a couple years.
Anyways, Coach, let's look at what's left on the schedule. Obviously, the bye week's going to come week 11, so y'all have got 2 games left on the schedule. That's Leon. I believe is that the homecoming game for y'all this year? Is that Leon?
Yes, yes sir.
And then Santa Fe next week, which is interesting, is that Santa Fe has resurged, and obviously Ernest Graham has taken over that program and has done some things there. Unlike last year where the district was already decided, this year the fate of the district's in y'all's hands at this point, but it's not totally decided until y'all play Santa Fe. But how do what is it with left on the schedule? These 2 teams, how are y'all preparing the guys? I know maybe it's a 1 game in a week type mentality right this second too as well.
Well, sure. Ever since I got here, that's kind of what we've tried to preach. It's about the Monday and Tuesday of the present week. Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday we put in a lot of preparation with the kids, a lot of film, all those things, and we try to keep it the same every week. We try to keep the standard the same every week. We're not about overlooking anybody. Leon will come here. They're the way they throw and catch is so much better this year. We actually saw them at FSU's 7-on-7 camp in July. And I'm not positive, but I think they made the finals. I think they were in the finals against somebody. Don't quote me on. I know they were in the Final Four because we didn't make it, and they got to move over to the stadium. So I know they were in the Final Four, but I think they made the final. So they do throw and catch the ball really well. So they'll pose a different threat than a lot of people that we see. A lot of it's ground and pound here in North Florida in our area. And so we're built to stop the run. So our DBs will maybe what you hit on a while ago. Maybe we'll get a few more opportunities at some interceptions this week. But no, we're taking it one game at a time. And I've looked at a couple things on Santa Fe. I know they run the ball so much better than they did last year. The number 3, the running back there is I'm not sure where he came from, but he's a really good running back. And you have to tackle him all the way to the ground every time. So we're not even looking towards Santa Fe right now. We want to go ahead and take this week and play a good Leon team, and then we'll move on to worry about district championship next week.
Of course, Leon being led by head coach Ricky Bell, who came back into coaching after like 3 decades, which don't see that too often, where the coach comes back and says, "I'm ready to put the whistle back on." Most once they hang it up, they're done. But anyways, let's go down. I mean, let's talk about your head coaching journey, because I've kind of, it's ever since, I remember the days when you were at Suwannee and you went to Baker County, your alma mater, and then you went up to Cook. I was like Cook County up in Georgia for a little bit, and then here you are back here. I mean, what over the last like 15, 16 years, just what you've been doing here. I mean, what have you learned at each place you've been at?
What I've learned is most places the kids play really hard no matter what. And, Suwannee gave me my start, and I interviewed at, 4, 5, 6 different places before Suwannee finally. And that was probably the most applicants. I think there was over 100 applicants for that job in 2012. And not sure why I got that one over the rest of them, but I'm sure glad that I did. And I appreciate all those folks. I talk to them still to this day. A lot of those guys that gave me my start, a lot of those people are super special to me. And I was there from 12 to 15. And, man, I learned a lot. The guys that played for me in 2012 probably wouldn't recognize this coach a whole lot. We were still going in uppers and in pads on Thursdays. Back then on walkthrough days, we would spend an hour in Oklahoma back in those days in 2012. And there's probably a lot of kids quit that probably wouldn't quit if they played for me nowadays, to be honest with you. But it made me a better coach. And, and then obviously running out of that tunnel in Orlando in 2017 with the team that I played for in Baker County and where I grew up, that was one of the most special memories I'll ever have in this game. No matter how long I coach, the chance to lead your team in the only state championship appearance in the school's history in 85, 90 years, whatever it is, and to be the head coach to run out of that tunnel with the boys in 2017 is something that I'll never forget. And then my time in Georgia, although it was short, it was, it was a check mark off the list. It was kind of when I started in this game, like the best of the best were getting their opportunities in South Georgia. And that was something that I always set my sights on. And that came to fruition in 2019. And we didn't win, or we didn't have the level of success that I've had in Florida. But the year that I left was probably my best team. They ended up winning the region championship that year. So that made me feel kind of good that year. It would have been year 4 for me. I came back, obviously. We lost my dad to COVID. And I was getting back to Florida. I was getting me and my wife back around our family. And that was something that was important to me. And then all of a sudden I get the chance to I was getting out of this business. I was going to in the cell phone industry and doing some other things. Some buddies of mine had made it where I was going to be able to get back close and work from around here, around McClenny. And I got a call from Mr. Hartley, and he talked to me about the job. And then all of a sudden here I am getting to coach at Bradford with probably some of the most success that I've had at all, the whole time that I've been coaching. And I'm so thankful that Will made that call that day and kept me in the game and allowed me to coach these great kids in Bradford.
So far, I remember 2 years ago when you hit that 100th win there against Suwannee. I was at that game. I remember that 2 years ago, and I think your win total's up to 121. And counting up the numbers here real quick here, I mean, you just just all of that, just being able to do this. I mean, it's really an impressive record, for, especially given the age, when you say 2012, I'm like, it's not really that long ago. It's been that long, but it's not really that long ago. I mean, you just look at this and you think about it, but ultimately everything starts going back to when you were at Baker County as a player. What did you take as a player that you can equate to these guys now as a coach?
Well, to be honest with you, I wasn't a very good player. If I had to be completely honest, I was a pretty decent athlete for my size, so I got to play both lines for a while, and then I got to play a little bit of fullback because I could run some. But I got to play for Coach Danny Green, who's a legend in Florida. I got to play for him for a couple years as a youngster, and that's where I played JV football for Coach Bobby Johns, who would later become my mentor in coaching. And that, we talk about the success at Bradford and how the defense, and we've played defense really well. I sat in his office one time when I was a very young coach, and he made me the defensive coordinator early on, not off of what I had done, just because that he needed somebody to help him on defense, and basically I was the only one left standing. So he told me, if you're good on defense and you can learn to coach defense, you'll have a chance to be in pretty much every game. And I took that to heart. So I got to meet him there, and then I played for I got to play for Coach Dean, George Dean. There was our most success as a player. And I was a baseball player. John Staples, good friend of yours. He moved in.
I was about to mention John Staples there.
He moved in my junior year and was on the defensive staff for football, but he played in baseball and won tons of games as a baseball player, and I was a baseball guy, and I got my opportunity to play college baseball instead of football. Not very many football coaches are looking for 5'11", 290-pound guys. They're looking for much more height at that weight. So I took the opportunity to go play baseball, and then there was always something about football that I love, the X's and O's of it, and it's the competitive side of football. It's a lot faster game, and you still feel like you're in the competition on Friday. And that's what lured me back into that. And I never thought I'd be doing this. And then one day I was moving up the chain in the business world at Walmart Distribution Center as a manager. And I just walked in one day and said, "Hey, I'm going to quit in a couple of weeks. I think I'm going to go start coaching." And that's kind of how it happened. And
wow, that's impressive. Of course, real quick here as we're about to wrap this up here, Coach. I mean, you mentioned John Staples. Also, you got his son Shane Staples on staff. I mean, I got to say this. You got part of the Gerald Odom coaching branch sitting over there from the Barrett Island days over there.
Well, the people ask me a lot, what attributes to our success over the places that I've been, and you mentioned all of them a while ago. I've had great assistant coaches with me. A head coach can't coach by himself. There's just so much to do, and I've had great assistant coaches every single stop that I've been, and probably at our place here in Bradford now, it might be the best of all of them. And yes, when I took the job here, John came on with me immediately, and then we built it with Coach May coming and Tyler Stevens and guys that I had coached and guys that I had hired previously. And then the whole staff, or half the staff, stayed with me. Coach Shanks, and all those guys that stayed with me from Bradford, Coach Smith and Coach Mosley and Kenny Dinkins. Those guys were already in place and had a great relationship with the kids, and it's just it's been a real blast.
No, absolutely, Coach. And well, Coach, we're out of time here, but this was fun. We're gonna definitely have to have you back on to do when we do the off season stuff. We'll have to do some extended stuff because you got a wealth of knowledge and a lot of nuggets to share and with that. But Bradford this week, Leon, Friday night, 7:00 at David Hurst Stadium there in Stark, and it is a wonderful place to go watch a football game. I will tell you that. It is a very small, quaint, intimate atmosphere, and a fireworks show afterwards. Usually.
Well, hopefully, if you win. If you lose, they don't shoot them off. So,
nope.
But if we win, they do. But I appreciate you having me on. Let me talk Tornado football.
No, appreciate it, Coach. So take care, and good luck this week.
Go Big Red.
All right, take care. All right. That's head coach Jimmy Rodgers joining us here from the Bradford Tornadoes here on the North Central Florida edition of the Blitz. Good stuff there.
Yeah. Great program so far, and a great start to the year. And they got a heck of a region to get through this year with Cocoa and the villages and Berkeley Prep, all in that region. So
yeah, no,
they got a good challenge ahead of them.
Absolutely. All right. Well, coming up after we're here after the break, we have our pick 6 for week number 9 coming up here. And we'll be right back right here on the North Central Florida edition of the Blitz here on FloorHSFootball.com and the FloorHSFootball.com social media channels.
I've been thinking about this for a long time. I thought if that's out there, I want to make sure I see it and I get involved in it because to me, this was music to my ears. I was blown away. When you look at today's kid, the millennium kid, they learn by being able to see it. If I can see it, it's a great chance that I can do it. The First Down Playbook is a tool that can essentially change the way we teach the game.
Box Out gives you the ability to create graphics at the speed of sports to highlight your athletic department, teams, and student athletes in seconds. Used and trusted by Notre Dame, Ohio State, UConn, Marquette, Georgetown, and many more of the top college brands in the country. If you want your school's brand to stand out through all the clutter, start your free demo at boxoutsports.com.
High school sports fans, follow your team live with a free ScoreStream mobile app. Download ScoreStream to get real-time scores, photos, and awesome video. Plus, follow your favorite teams and friends. Get real-time high school sports from ScoreStream.
Get ready for the 2026 Coach of the Year Clinics. This February and March, see top collegiate coaches, learn from the best, and take your program to the next level. Don't miss America's most respected coaching clinics.
All right, welcome back here to the North Central Florida edition of the Blitz here on FloridaHSFootball.com. And that was a great interview there. And it'll be interesting to see where Bradford right now, number 5 in Class 2A in the Florida Power Rankings Index, Class 2A top 10 rankings there. So looking mighty good.
Yeah, looking good for the regional playoff too. So that's going to be interesting to see how they pair off against these other teams.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, if you know what that music means, it is time for the Pick Six as we bring it up here with our first game up on the docket. Hawthorne 5-1. Yes, Hawthorne only has 8 regular season games, and this will be number 7 for them out of 8. Hawthorne, a 33-point favorite over Dunellen. Win probability 99%. Tigers 1%.
Yeah, give me Hawthorne right now. Dunellen struggling late as of late, but yeah, give me Hawthorne.
Yeah, I got to take the Hornets here on this one. I just know that Dunellen is struggling here a bit, and it's just until I see otherwise, this may be the game that may be the one that's the as they would say the knockout punch that could keep Dunellen out of the playoffs. So, and our buddy Reno, he is taking Hawthorne as well on the picks here as we roll into our next pick. SSA versus FHA. Like we're 4-4, Santa Fe 5-2. Santa Fe is a 27-point favorite over the visiting Hurricanes, giving the Raiders a 99% chance of winning this one. Real quick, answer Emery's question: how they only ended up at 8 games? No other teams don't want to play them. That is absolutely correct, Emery. Yep. So where we go with this one? Hurricanes or Raiders?
Give me the Raiders big time. This is not going to be close.
No, Lake Ware's doing all right. They're number 10 in the SSA Atlantic top 10 rankings, but Santa Fe is just on a whole different level this year. And give me the Raiders in this one. And Reno's taking the Raiders as well. All right, a critical District 6A6 matchup that could decide playoff implications for both of these teams. It's Davenport 4-3 against Force 4-3, who has seen a resurgence under head coach John Brantley III. and forced a 14-point favorite over the visiting Davenport Broncos. The Wildcats, 89% win probability on this one.
I like what Davenport's done, but give me the experience of John Brantley to get that one in that game.
Yeah, I'm going to take Forest. I think Forest is going to get a chance to be they're in the playoff hunt, but I think they're going to have a chance to be able to get potentially a 7 or 8 seed if they keep winning some ball games. And there's a chance right here to do so here and get to 500 on the season, at least guarantee a 500 record for the 2025 season. Up next is a road test for Newberry, who it was 3-4. It should have said 3-4, not 3-3. They are 3-4. I don't know. I meant to fix that earlier, but they're 3-4. Fort White 4-3. Fort White a 24-point favorite over Newberry here. Win probability through the roof from Fort White here on this one.
Yeah, give me Fort White in a big way. Newberry, I don't see them coming close in this game.
Yeah, it's one of those ones where it's going to be hard for Newberry to come. I think it's going to be tough, but this is I will say this is a game, honestly, Chris, that Newberry has to win in order to get in the playoffs. Right now, they're sitting on that edge where they are number 8 in the region, but Wikiwachi is going to bump them out. Or is it Wikiwachi? Not what Wikiwachi? Sorry, no. Avon Park will bump out. Sorry, I was thinking Wikiwachi in 3A. It's Avon Park in 2A that would bump them out right now. And to be honest, you have to win out. You've got to win out in order to basically get into the playoffs now at this point if you're Newberry.
Yeah, not only Avon Park, but Astronaut sitting there too. And then you got those two teams pouncing on Newberry right now.
Well. Y'all probably know who Reno's going for, but Reno's pick does not count in terms of the standing, so we'll just throw that one out the door. Y'all ain't do Vanguard Palm Beach Central. Okay, I didn't put that game on there because Palm Beach Central has had some struggles this year, and I think Vanguard will totally dominate that one. So, but I'll talk about that here in a moment here real quick. Lafayette 6-1, Trenton 5-2. Lafayette a 21-point favorite over the Tigers. 96% win probability. Trenton has slid here a little bit, Chris, ever since that hot start. Is more trouble brewing there in Tiger Town against the visiting Hornets.
Yeah, I struggle with this one. I like Trenton, but give me Lafayette. But it's going to be closer than that, though.
Yeah, give me the boys from Mayo, and I'll instead of a few packets of mayo, give me the jar of mayo. So I am taking Lafayette for the win here on this one here, and that was my attempt at trying to make a joke and did not go so well. By the way, oddball fact: there was one day they did it for like a day. They renamed the town from Mayo to Miracle Whip for a day. Yeah, publicity stunt for Miracle Whip. But y'all didn't know that. All right.
Maybe they should keep that name.
What, Miracle Whip?
Yeah.
Why? Because the way they're playing right now?
No comment.
What's better on a sandwich, mayo or mustard or ketchup? Actually, I've come around to eat mayonnaise now, so actually, I'll take all three. All right. Final up is Zephyr Hills 7-0, South Sumter 5-2. Zephyr Hills is a 16-point favorite. Zephyr Hills a 92% favorite win probability here. South Sumter 8%. Boy, Chris, where do we go with this one here?
South Sumter's in a pickle here, especially in their playoff positioning. If they lose this game, they're really in trouble. Give me Zephyr Hills.
As I see Ellis Hall saying he's showing the chat here all of a sudden, and he's saying Zephyr Hills. And, I'm going Zephyr Hills. Coach got onto it. Coach was like, don't pick me, you jinx us. And I'm like, I've already picked y'all once in a game this year before, and that was against Wiregrass Ranch, and they won. I took them last week. Well, that didn't work out, but I'm going Zephyr Hills. I just feel like Zephyr Hills is a much stronger team here in this situation here. And to address the game about Vanguard, well, Winston, Vanguard is a 36-point favorite over Palm Beach Central. So I just, part of me was like kind of hesitant because Palm Beach Central has had their struggles this year. And Palm Beach Central actually, I think they were on the outside looking in this past week on the bracket. I want to say they weren't even in the mix. I
think so.
They were close. It's really, yeah.
I'm looking here. I believe they were on the outside. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's the reason why I didn't put it on there. This is the best. This is the best game of the week in terms of the region. I say, in terms of two teams here going at it. This is that game here. So, and everything here. So we definitely appreciate everybody joining us here on. There we go.
I take that back. Palm Beach Central's in the mix, but they're not. They're close. They're on the edge.
I agree with you. I think they are on the edge as well. By the way, we see the food jumping in here, the food and all that, the ketchup, the mayonnaise. Hey, you know what goes good on almost any sandwich? Bacon.
Yeah, bacon is better than all three of those.
Oh, man. Well, all right. Well, we definitely appreciate everybody joining us here on the North Central Florida edition of the Blitz. And yes, a great interview again with head coach Jamie Rodgers of the Bradford Tornadoes. All right, coming up, we have the Panhandle edition of the Blitz. I'm not a grouch. What? Oh, yes, it is. All right. Well, we appreciate everybody. We'll be back here in just a few minutes for the Panhandle edition of the Blitz, where we'll have head coach Brad Wagner from the Blountstown Tigers joining us here. See you in a few minutes.